Ritsuko let out a groan as he was on his bed, tossing and turning as he was trying to get some sleep, but sadly, failed to. Damn it, I can't get some sleep, and it's all because of what happened in Las Vegas. Maybe getting something to drink will make me feel better. Ritsuko then got out of his bed and proceeded to leave his room, heading towards the cafeteria. As he was heading towards the cafeteria, he came across Mashu, who seemed to have the same idea as his. "Oh, hey there Mashu. Hey there senpai." Mashu replied as she let out a yawn. "Can't sleep?" "Yeah. You too, huh?" Mashu nodded. "Right now, well, what happened in Las Vegas is still haunting my mind." Ritsuko sighed. "No kidding, I never knew they would actually do that. I know that Arturia and her counterparts love Shirou, but man, that was unexpected." "Indeed. Even now, the sounds are still stuck in my head." Mashu muttered as she placed her head down on the table. "What are we going to do?" Ritsuko gave Mashu's question some thought. After a few seconds, he came up with a solution. "Well, we could go to the doctor for advice." "You mean Romani? Or Nightingale-san?" Mashu asked as she got herself a glass of water. Ritsuko let out a chuckle. "Isn't it obvious? Romani, of course. Nightingale would just stab both of us with needles." Mashu laughed for a bit. "That's true, so, tomorrow morning, we'll go to Romani's room for some advice on this problem of ours, then." "Exactly," Ritsuko said as he drank his glass of water. "Well then, it's bad for us to stay up all night, so let's retire to our rooms for the time being." "Yeah. Good night, senpai." "Good night, Mashu." And the two retired to the rooms for the night. However, little did they know was that someone overheard the conversation they were having in the shadows. And that someone is a certain wizard who can't shut his mouth. Merlin. Merlin let out a smirk. "Oh my, looks like I've overheard something quite interesting. Well then, looks like I got some new material to tease Shirou with. Now then, I wonder what I will do with this information." Romani was in his old office, minding his own business as he was on his chair, relaxing. "Man, it's been a while since I've ever relaxed like this. Now then, I wonder what I should do today." As he was in his thoughts, it was then he heard a few knocks on his doorstep. "Who is it?" he asked. "It's me, doctor. And I brought Mashu along with me." "We need your help with something," Ritsuko said. Romani was a little surprised with what he just heard. "Really? Both Ritsuko and Mashu need my help with something? That's a first." He then got off his chair and proceeded to open the door. "Coming you too," he said with a smile on his face. "Thank you," Mashu said. Both Ritsuko and Mashu then sat down on two chairs while Romani sat back in front of his desk. "So then, what kind of help you two need?" "Well, we need your advice with something," Ritsuko replied. "Advice? With what?" "Well, just how can you get rid of nasty thoughts that are plaguing your mind?" Mashu asked. "Eh? Nasty thoughts?" "Why yes." They muttered in unison as they looked down on the ground. "I see. Are the thoughts disturbing?" "And no, but it did not leave our minds for a while," Mashu replied while being embarrassed at the same time. Romani let out a small sigh. "What happened between you two? You two are not this embarrassed in talking about your problems." "Well, remember the mission in Las Vegas?" Ritsuko asked. "Yeah, and that mission was a success because of the efforts of you two." "Why?" "Well, after we, or rather Shirou and ruler Arturia got rid of the source of the missing people, we all decided to have a day off together with me and Mashu doing our own thing while Shirou and ruler Arturia were doing their own thing." "I see. So, what happened?" Ritsuko let out a small gulp before continuing the conversation. Well, me and Mashu were done shopping for the day and decided to check on Shirou and ruler Arturia to see how they were doing. However, before we could even ask them, we heard, well, certain sounds and words coming from their room. Certain sounds and words? What kind of sounds and words? At that moment, both Ritsuka and Mashu let out a collective blush on their faces. Well, the kind of sounds when a man and woman make love, Ritsuka said, but was cut off by Romani. I got it. You don't have to say anymore, Romani said as he was getting the gist of what they were talking about. At that moment, all of three of them let out a collective sigh. Wow, I can't believe that Ritsuka and Mashu actually heard Shirou and ruler Arturia having sex, or maybe they're overthinking it a bit. After all, the door was closed, so anything could have happened over there. Romani, what do we do? Mashu asked. Well, let me ask you this, were you too sure that they were having sex? Eh? What do you mean by that? Simply put, those sounds you heard could have mean anything. It's possible that what you were hearing earlier may have been not what you were thinking. Is that so? Yeah. Well, I guess that's one way to think of it, although I'm still going to have flashbacks about though, especially the sounds. Ritsuka muttered. Romani sighed again. Yeah. Anyways, about the sounds in both of your heads, try to not think about it that much. Otherwise, it will continue to haunt both of you. I see. Thank you, Romani. Mashu replied. No problem. Now then, aren't you too busy with work? I have a feeling the director is going to gnaw at both of you later, especially you Ritsuka. Why yes. We'll be leaving now, Ritsuka said as he and Mashu soon left Romani's room. Phew. Well, hopefully Ritsuka and Mashu can get over what they overheard in Las Vegas, although I'm worried about what they said. If anyone heard those two talking about that, well, may the root have mercy on Chaldea. Shirou was having a weird day, well, a normal day in his case. Right now, he was walking in one of Chaldea's hallways. As he was walking, he kept hearing whispers from other servants and staff of Chaldea. Wow. To think he was capable of something like this. Yeah, talk about a beast. Indeed. Any woman who marries him will be really lucky. Shirou let out a sigh. Man, I've been here for a year already, and people are still talking about me. Well then again, I've done some stuff that made me well known in Chaldea, maybe some time in the kitchen may calm my nerves. He thought as he overheard the people around him whispering to themselves or to other people. As Shirou continued to walk down the cafeteria, it was then he met a familiar servant. Lancer see you. Upon seeing Shirou, Lancer see you let out a smirk. Hey kid, you finally did it, huh? Nice. You didn't tell me you were that good. What's your secret? He said with a smug smirk on his face. HM? Good with what? Shirou asked, confused with what CU was talking about. Oh, come on. You know what I'm talking about. Talking about what? I have no clue what you're talking about. Eh? You're keeping that a secret? Well then, I can't blame you. After all, a man has his secrets, and this would be your biggest secret. If anyone found out about it completely, every male would want you dead. Siyu said with a smirk on his face. At that point, Shirou was even more confused with what Siyu was talking about. Huh? My biggest secret? Every male would want me dead? What is he talking about? Plus, the only male that wants me dead in the King of Heroes. Anyways, I got to go now, so see you. Also, good luck with her. See you said as he soon left. Meanwhile, Shirou was completely clueless with what just happened. Huh? Her? What is he talking about? Shirou thought before he started to walk again. After many minutes of walking, Shirou arrived at the cafeteria. Upon arriving there, he saw Arturia and her counterparts, Ishtar and her counterparts, Parvati, Bibi and her sisters, Ilya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, Irisfeel, Kiritsugu, Jaguarman, Emiya, and Emiya Altar. Shirou. It's almost breakfast. We're hungry now. Arturia, her counterparts, Irisfeel, and Jaguarman said in unison. Yeah. I'll be there soon. Mao, Emiya-kun, you're so late. Ishtar said with her counterparts nodding in reply. It's rude to keep a lady waiting, Shirou, Astria said. Oniai-chan, hurry up. Ilya, her counterparts, and Miyu said. Senpai, hurry up, Parvati, Bibi, and her sisters said. Kiritsugu didn't say anything but sipped on his cup of coffee. Soon, Shirou headed towards the kitchen where Emiya and Emiya Altar were. As he arrived, he washed his hands and prepared to make breakfast for everyone in the cafeteria. So, what kept you waiting? Emiya asked. Well, I had a confusing conversation with CU earlier, Shirou replied. Which CU? Emiya Altar asked. Lancer. Ah. So, what was the conversation about? Emiya asked. Well, it was quite confusing. He was asking me about something that I did with a smirk on his face. Not only that, but he also wanted to know what my secret was. At that moment, both Emiya and Emiya Altar were confused. Secret? What secret? Emiya Altar asked. Exactly. I'm not sure what he was talking about. Furthermore, said secret would make a lot of males kill me. Huh. Emiya said. What kind of conversation was that? And what did Lancer mean by secret? From what I know, he doesn't even have a big secret. Well, aside from his noble phantasms and his heroic tale, but that's been exposed already. Just what is Lancer talking about? Soon, Shirou, Emiya, and Emiya Altar continued making breakfast for everyone in the cafeteria peacefully, with everyone eating their dishes. For a while, nothing crazy happened. Then everything changed when Merlin arrived with a smile on his face. At that moment, Arturia and her counterparts saw that smile and immediately had one thought in mind. Oh no, Merlin's up to something with that smile of his. Merlin soon got closer to the kitchen counterpart, where Shirou, Emiya, and Emiya Altar were. As he did, his smile grew even further. Well then, Shirou, you did it. You finally did it. And without my help. Shirou, Emiya, and Emiya Altar were confused. What are you talking about, Merlin? Shirou asked. Oh, come on. You know what I'm talking about. Quit being such a sour puss and tell me. How did it start and how did it feel? At that point, Shirou was completely confused. Just what are you talking about, Merlin? I have no clue what you were talking about. The same with CU from earlier too. Just what are you talking about? Merlin let out a small sigh. Well then, guess I'll have to ask it out loud then. For a moment, nothing happened as he gathered some breath, and he said his next words. How was sex with ruler Arturia? At that moment, the entire cafeteria went into chaos upon hearing Merlin's words. Everyone stopped what they were doing for a moment and let out one giant collective spit take. Everyone aside from Shirou and ruler Arturia yelled as they turned their attention to both of them with their jaws dropped. Huh? Shirou and ruler Arturia yelled. Yeah. You heard me. How was sex with ruler Arturia? Merlin asked. Both Shirou and ruler Arturia blushed at the question Merlin just said. Where did you get this idea from? They yelled in unison. Oh, from a certain someone, he said with a smirk on his face. As Shirou was dumbfounded from what he just heard, it was then that he, along with ruler Arturia, felt a bunch of murderous intent from nearly everyone in the cafeteria, which consisted of Arturia and her counterparts, Parvati, Bibi, and her sisters, Emiya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, and Jaguar Man. At the same time, Irisville looked at Shirou with a huge smile on her face, and Kuritsugu, Emiya, and Emiya Alter looked shocked at him. Ruler me. Arturia's counterparts muttered. Emiya Kun. Ishtar and her counterparts said. Senpai. Parvati, Bibi, and her sisters said creepily while having a scary look in their eyes. Oniai-chan. Emiya and her counterparts along with Miyu muttered with hollow eyes. Shirou. Astria muttered. Shirou. Jaguarman muttered while bringing out her staff. Oh Shirou. Irisville said with a smile on her face. Kuritsugu didn't say anything. Shirou let out a sweat drop. As he did, he then turned to Emiya and Emiya Alter, who looked at him with looks that said, "You're on your own," clearly showing that they do not want to get involved in this. Shirou gulped at the murderous intent in front of him. Senpai has been defiled. Parvati muttered creepily. He felt pleasure from someone else other than me. Kama muttered creepily. This is a plot to take Senpai away from Bibi-chan. Bibi muttered creepily. This pain of someone being taken away, it hurts, and I don't like it. Passion Lip muttered creepily. Oh, someone has the nerve to take him. Melt Lilith muttered creepily. Senpai, and another woman. King Protea muttered creepily. Oniai-chan's been dirted. By a bunny woman of all things. Emiya yelled. Great! Now Oniai-chan is going to be taken away by her. Kuro yelled. All of our fears have been realized. Oh no, I think Miyu's dead from the shock. Saitona yelled as she turned to Miyu. Miyu stayed silent but looked completely dead. Oniai-chan had sex, Oniai-chan had sex. She muttered. Yes. My son finally did the deed. Woohoo! More grandchildren. Irisville yelled happily as she was spinning around in circles. IRI. Kuritsugu said. I was too late. Now Shirou's purity is gone. Astria wailed in despair. Shirou. You can't do that before you get married. Jaguar Man yelled. Wow, he actually did it, Emiya Kun actually did it, again. Ishtar muttered. Yeah, and to think he did in Las Vegas. Ari Shickle said. Geez, this is too shocking for me. Writer Ishtar said. Ruler me, you've got some explaining to do right now. Arturia yelled. Yeah, we all agreed to lay hands off of Shirou until marriage. Arturia Lily yelled. But you broke the rules and went ahead of yourself. Arturia Alter yelled. And you thought you can get away with it? Writer Arturia Alter yelled. That's cheating, you know. Caster Arturia yelled. I've got to admit, you're quite crafty. Lancer Arturia muttered in anger. Indeed, I could use one of those bunny suits. Lancer Arturia Alter replied with jealously. Wait, I can explain, Ruler Arturia said, but was cut off. No excuses. Archer Arturia yelled. Take your punishment. Santa Arturia Alter yelled. I knew it. You saber faces are evil. Die. Mysterious Heroine X yelled. Target, lock on, eliminating the target. Mysterious Heroine X Alter said. I should have known something like this was going to happen. Mysterious Heroine XX said. No one touches my manager and gets away with it. Mysterious Idol X Alter said. And the carnage began. Senpai, want to get some breakfast now? I'm getting hungry, Mashu asked. Sure. I'm getting hungry as well, Ritsuka replied. Soon, Ritsuka and Mashu began walking down the hallway, heading towards the cafeteria to get some breakfast. However, upon getting close to the cafeteria, he heard a lot of noises coming out of there. And they were not the good kind. After hearing the sounds, both Ritsuka and Mashu quickly headed towards the cafeteria to see what was going on. Upon arriving, they were in shock at what they were seeing in front of them. Pure chaos. Right now, both Shirou and ruler Arturia were dealing with a bunch of angry girls which consisted of Arturia and her counterparts, Parvati, Bibi and her sisters, Emiya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, and Jaguar Man, while Irisville was happily dancing on the side and Merlin, Karitsugu, Emiya and Emiya Alter were watching. For a moment, he and Mashu just stood there in shock at the sight in front of them until Mashu began to say something first. Senpai, is this? Mashu stuttered. Yeah. This is complete chaos, Ritsuka replied. I can see that. We're going to need to put a stop to this. Definitely. Both Ritsuka and Mashu carefully entered into the cafeteria. As they did, Ritsuka began to scream his lungs out to get everyone's attention. What is going on in here? He yelled, making everyone stop for a moment. As they did, everyone turned to Ritsuka. Master. Everyone said. Ritsuka took a deep breath to recover himself from the screaming he just did. Alright, just what is going on here? Shirou let out a sigh. Well, Master. Oniai-chan's been dirted by that bunny girl over there. Emiya yelled/interrupted as she pointed at ruler Arturia. Ritsuka was stunned for a moment. Eh? You heard her. Senpai's been defiled by her. Parvati, Bibi, and her sisters yelled. And in Las Vegas of all places. The perfect place for them to do something indecent. Astria yelled. We all agreed to not have sex with Shirou yet, but Ruler Me broke the rules. Arturia and her counterparts yelled. My son is no longer a virgin. Irisville exclaimed happily. Shirou has been taken away. Jaguar Man yelled. He actually did it again. Emiya-kun actually did it again. Ishtar and her counterparts said. Are they serious? Karitsugu grumbled. What the hell did my younger self do? Emiya and Emiya Alter said. At that moment, both Ritsuka and Mashu looked at each other and immediately knew what was going on. Mashu, are you thinking what I am thinking? He whispered. Yeah, seems like that someone may have overheard us last night. Mashu whispered back. Why, Master? Did Emiya-kun really have sex with the bunny girl? Ishtar asked. Ritsuka let out a sigh. Well, to be honest, I need to ask him about that. He then walked over to where Shirou and ruler Arturia were. Shirou, ruler Arturia. Did you two, have sex together when we were in Las Vegas? Huh? You two, Master? What is up with this rumor? And who was the one who started it? Shirou asked. Ritsuka gulped. Yeah, about that, I'm sorry, he said as he bowed down. Everyone was surprised for a moment. Eh? Well, in all honesty, me and Mashu thought you two had sex during that mission in Las Vegas, because we happened to overhear you two making, certain phrases and sounds. Mashu then bowed down as well. And me too. I'm also a part of this as well. She apologized. Shirou let out a small sigh of relief as he now knew what started the rumor, which happened because of coincidence and the massage he gave to ruler Arturia. Wow, we gave Master quite the impression, huh? Meanwhile, ruler Arturia blushed. Oh, I guess me and Shirou must have gave Master the wrong idea. However, ruler Arturia's blush gave off a different message to the others, angering the other girls. Ritsuka let out a sigh. So, Shirou, did you and ruler Arturia have sex on that day in Las Vegas? Shirou sighed again. No, Master. We did not have sex during that mission in Las Vegas. Really? So then, what were those sounds that we heard over there? Mashu asked. Well, you happened to hear me giving Arturia a massage. Shirou replied. Everyone was shocked for a moment. Really? It was a massage? They were not having sex, they all thought in unison. To Arturia and her counterparts, Ishtar and her counterparts, Parvati, Bibi and her sisters, Emiya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, Jaguarman, Ritsuka, and Mashu, they were relieved, while Irisveil and Merlin were disappointed that they did not do the deed. Phew, that was a relief. Arturia and her counterparts, Ishtar and her counterparts, Parvati, Bibi and her sisters, Emiya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, Jaguarman, Ritsuka, and Mashu thought. Damn it. Irisveil and Merlin thought. Kiritsugu, Emiya, and Emiya Alter didn't give off a reaction, because they were done with the reactions. Both Ritsuka and Mashu let out a long sigh. Well, looks like we were overthinking it a bit too far. Mashu said. Yeah, sorry about that, Shirou, Ritsuka apologized. It's fine. And I think I now know who's the one that spread the rumor. Shirou said as he slowly turned to Merlin. It was you, wasn't it, Merlin? You were the one that told Siyu, didn't you? Merlin let out a small chuckle. Hey, yeah, it was me. I happened to hear Master and Mashu's conversation about it last night. In an instant, everyone else stared at Merlin. Merlin. They muttered in unison. Shirou let out a groan. Please tell me the rumor didn't get far. Well. It was then Shirou sensed a huge murderous intent at him in the form of a sword thrown at him, forcing Shirou to quickly dodge it. As he did, he saw Archer Gilgamesh, who looked very furious as he had his gate of Babylon out. You faker! How dare you lay your dirty hands on one of my greatest treasures? And to do something like that to it, you will die right now by my own hands. Not a single piece of you will remain when I'm done with you. Archer Gilgamesh yelled in anger. Shirou groaned again. Damn it, he of all people had to hear it. And then a huge fight began. Meanwhile, oh my! That bunny girl has quite the courage, Nero said. Indeed. And to do it in Las Vegas of all places, how daring! Castor Nero said. The power of the bunny suit, how dangerous it is. We must procure one of those. Bride Nero said. You've got to be kidding me. Jean Dark Alter muttered. What, older me? Jean Dark Alter, Santa Lily asked. Oh, nothing. Hey, unaltered me, can I ask you something? Okita Alter asked. Sure. What is it? Okita replied. What's sex? At that moment, Okita did a spit take along with puking out blood at the same time. Oh my, that's new, but what is this bunny suit? Musashi wondered. Well, he's finally done it, Gawain said. Yeah. Our queen has finally done it with our king, Lancelot said. Yes. And Merlin didn't do anything for once, Tristan said. I hope there will be a wedding soon. Gareth said happily. Maybe, who knows? Either way, I'm excited for that day to come, Bedivere said. I wonder if I'll be getting a new sibling soon. Mordred said.